Ugh. Where am I? Let's see. Ow, my butt. Okay, focus, focus. I joined up the search party heading down to the surface. And then what? I remember there was a sudden impact, like we hit something, or something hit us. Wait, is that? It is! It's really you! Run a tree, you survived! You've finally awoken. You seem familiar to me. A friend of the goddesses, are you not? I am. The name's Yunica. Yunica Tovah. Yes, I remember now. You are Priest Tovah's granddaughter. Well, yes I am, but I really don't take after him all that much. I can't even use magic. You're the outer road tree, right? How's your younger brother? Is he alright? Yes, he's fine. In fact, he's been my sole conversation partner all this time. It was starting to get rather boring down here. I bet. You were always quite the chatterbox. I must admit, when the shrine ascended, I found myself worrying about you two. I'm really glad you're both okay. Goddesses gave us life, and they maintain our lives as well. These noxious fumes will not sever our bonds with them so easily. But you, Tovah. When was it? I beheld a man, with one companion in tow, surrounded by a horde of demons. Am I correct in assuming, then, that he too was of Tovah lineage? Yeah, that was my dad. He stayed behind on the surface, and bought us some time to raise Solomon's shrine. My grandpa says he couldn't have survived down here. I felt his essence disappear into the miasma. Which is not to say I witnessed his death, but I can hardly doubt his fate. So I guess Grandpa was right. Well, then I guess the book is closed on him. So now it's his daughter's time to shine. Oh, do you seek something from this ruined land then? Yes, we come down to the surface in search of our ladies Rhea and Fina. A few days ago, the two of them vanished from the shrine. No one's seen or heard from them since. I did catch sight of the goddesses. It was perhaps 3 days ago. You saw them! So Father Shion was right. They really did come to the surface. Did you see where they went? You see that tower at the foot of Mount Precious? That horrifying tower built to bridge this ruined land with Solomon's shrine up above. Though it is weak, I sense the essence of both goddesses in that place. What? They're in the tower! Why didn't you stop them? He's a tree. Good luck with that. They sought the tower of their own volition. I saw no reason to intervene. But you know what that tower represents. Wait, they are not alone. I sense others in and around its perimeter. Your companions, I believe. Huh? Which companions? Who's over there? So, you would go to them? I will. I need to meet up with the others right away so we can bring our stray goddesses back home. You must be careful. It's such a dangerous place. Ordinary demons outside world. Rhoda, speak to me. Say something. Yes, the gases are starting to flare up. No magic of my own to fall back on. I'm afraid I just can't hear your voice anymore, old friend. Lady Rhea, Lady Fina. This doesn't feel right. Shouldn't there be more demons guarding the entrance? Ah. I suppose we should have expected this, considering where we are. If only you had some others with us, we'd be on more even footing. Open up a barrier and try to hold it for as long as possible. That should buy you some time to take out the demons on that side. Fewer demons means better odds, right? If I must take up arms, then so be it. Ah, aren't you? Apprentice Knight Yunica Tovah at your service. Much obliged. Do what you can with these beasts, if you please. We'll take care of the demons in the room's periphery. Understood. Dino, Aeolia, come. Yes, father. Right away. You rotten creatures have turned all our lives upside down and taken my dad away from me. So don't expect me to hold back. Tutorial time for the uninitiated. East Origin is the last of the Nepishtim engine games, meaning that there's some upgrades to deal with here. In terms of attacking, we just hit the left face button, we can hit it consecutively in order to do a lot more. And if we hit the lower face button, we can get a jump. But if we attack while we're in the air with a jump, we might be able to bridge some gaps because we'll get a little bit more distance. If we attack after immediately coming to a stop, we get a little bit of a lunge attack, which may randomly lower the target's defense. And then we have our up thrust as well as down thrust. Depending on our ascent or our descent, if we attack, we'll either thrust up in the air or down stab. It's two different extra variations of things we could do that might even stun targets with the down thrust. So, let's get started. This pretty much plays like Open Felgana as well as Arca Nepishtim. I've only played Open Felgana on my channel up to this point, so we kind of already know how this plays still, even then. But we have some more enemies to deal with. So let's talk boost. Boost, when we press the top face button on our controller, we will go into a boosted state, which in Unica's case, temporarily enhances her skills. They cost half as much MP to use and they hit harder. Her defense is pretty much also doubled, so we basically take about half as much damage from enemies. Right now, it's not anything too special for Unica's case because I don't have any moves that require MP at the moment. Obviously, we have an MP gauge right below our health there, so we will be getting something. Interface spoiler alert, of course, but you know how this is. So let's just end this by picking up all these little purple gems and let's get into the next scene. Nicely done. Father Superior, and you two are, guess there wasn't much time for introductions now, was there? I'm Dino, an acolyte of Solomon's Shrine. And I'm his colleague, Aeolia. I'm Yunica Tovah, it's nice to meet you both. Tovah? Any relation to Commander Saul Tovah? Oh yes, I'm his daughter. You live up to your heritage then. Your fighting style is gallant and graceful. Were I to wield a battle axe of that size, well, suffice it to say I've had a hard time keeping my balance, let alone hitting anything. You see, I can't use magic, so my strength is really all I have. Ah, I see. This young lady was kind enough to volunteer her services in search of our runaway deities. So I suggest we put forth our best effort to find them, for their sakes, for ours and for the commander's as well. Father Superior, thank you so much! But where are the other knights? And the sorcerers, aren't they with you? I'm afraid not. Just as the surface came in sight, our transport spell was disrupted by some outside force, intentionally as best as I could tell. Was that the impact I felt then? It was, and whatever hit us, it blocked out all ability to control our transport, resulting in the breakdown of the entire enchantment. We were scattered in all directions and hurled down to the surface quite unceremoniously. Though it could have been much worse. Were it not for our individual berries, the fall alone surely would have been fatal. Whatever force knocked us from the sky originated from this tower, so we've come to determine who's responsible and for what reason. It doesn't explain why you're here though, Yunica, and all alone no less. Well, about that. Yunica recounted her conversation with the Rota Tree regarding their whereabouts of the goddesses. This little narration box is pretty much all that Adol gets in the prior games, so seeing this and having Yunica talk, as well as Hugo, it kind of is refreshing to see, so we kind of get their perspectives on matters. Considering that both stories have a linear structure to them, we get to see two differences how they play out. Could that really be true? Why would they come to such a dreadful place? I can't even begin to imagine. Father, we must find them at once.
Indeed, there's no time to lose. Sadly, even with our powers pulled, our fighting skills are no match for the denizens of this wicked place. We need to reassemble the search party before we can begin in earnest. Of course, you're absolutely right.
May I entrust this task to you, Dino? Yes, Father, thank you. Using the rota trees as a base, I'll search the area via a transport spell and round up everyone I can find. As for you, young lady. Yes, Father Superior? There's no guarantee that a situation similar to the one we just experienced won't reoccur. I'd like you to remain here with us until the rest of our party arrives, keeping a watchful eye for any more uninvited guests. Okay. Is something wrong? Well, I was kind of hoping you would let me do a little recon, just in the immediate area, of course, not too far away or anything. I'd like to get some combat training, so I don't let down my guard if the situation gets critical. I mean, I'm just an apprentice knight, and with no magic ability whatsoever. Well, I'm just kind of worried I'll get in the way, you know? Admittedly, your reasoning is sound, but I would be remiss to blindly offer consent to knowing the risks. Well, we need to learn more about this tower anyway, don't we? I mean, we barely know anything about it. Come on, please, I'm up to it, I know I am. Very well. Shall personally explain the situation to Sir Galleon upon his arrival. Seriously? Oh, thank you so very much! There's one condition, however. I must insist that you take this with you. Received crystal. What's this? Come over here, please. I'll show you. It's a statue of a monster. How twisted. Just watch. The crystal's power purified the demon statue. Wow, just like that, it's a goddess statue. But how? The best way to explain it would be to say that it's been returned to its original natural form. When East ascended, several goddess statues were left behind on the surface. It seems monsters must have found one, brought it here, and changed it. Though to what end I cannot say. Oh. Lady Rhea, Lady Fina, I'm sorry I said you were twisted. I didn't recognize you like that. I think it's safe to assume the other goddess statues have been brought here as well, and have lightly met with a similar fate. Thus the crystal. If you're to scout the tower, you may well encounter the other statues, and can purify them just as I did this one. Alright, sounds easy enough. It's kind of like a portable blessing. But that's not all. It has another function as well. It can magically transport you to any purified goddess statue within the tower in the blink of an eye. And the object itself is enchanted with this ability, so no magic will be required on your part. Sounds like a lifesaver. Thank you again, Father Superior, for your blessing and for this crystal as well. Yunica, I'd like you to take this with you too. Received Lila shell. A shell? Another magical item. In this case, it serves as a communication device, allowing us to speak with one another across any distance. No matter where you may be, just talk to the shell. Unless I'm somehow indisposed, I'll hear you. If you should find yourself in need of assistance, please don't hesitate to make use of it. Neat, thanks a bunch. I'll take good care of it. Before I go, Father Superior, Sister Ayola? Yes, is there something else you needed? I know I just kind of stubbornly forced my way into the search party, and now I'm actually managed to convince you to let me go off on my own. So I just wanted to say, I won't let you down. I promise. Thank you for being so accommodating. May not be as ever a great knight as my father was, but I'll do everything in my power to find our goddesses. You can count on me. I hope you'll be able to count on us too. We're all in this together, you know. We'll be right here if you need us. Do not hesitate to return for any reason, and may the goddesses guide your path. Please don't forget, if the situation becomes dire, use the power of the crystal. Let it bring you back to safety. I will, and may the goddesses guide your path as well. So yes, as you can tell, we can now pretty much just warp wherever we want by using these crystals. If we just use it, we can pretty much warp to any particular location in this tower. It's really big, as you can tell by how many places we can warp to, but thankfully enough, having this crystal just allows us to warp to anywhere at just a click of a button, no matter where we're at. It's kind of useful, This, on the other hand, the Lila shell, it's pretty much just a hint system. If you need any help whatsoever, you can just use it, and you'll get like a story update, what might be going on if you might have forgotten.
as well as a hint on what to do. Usually it's just explore, but you'll figure it out. Either way, going up to these statues, they are also your save points. So you click on it and you could just pretty much just go anywhere you want and just kind of click save spot. Otherwise, as you notice, it also said accept divine blessing. Clicking on this, you get a bunch of different options. These options are exactly what they say on the tin. If you read through them, it does look like a weird debug menu in a sense, but honestly, you just get enough SP, those little purple gems that are on the ground everywhere, and you'll be able to get any single one of these abilities. It is kind of worth it, except ones like increased movement speed for 500,000. That's gonna take a while to get, but honestly, getting these is kind of worth it because in this game, even small numbers is still actually kind of useful. Like a single digit, for example. Anyways, let's go into Darm Tower proper. Let's get started. The Wailing Blue. This tower is one that we traveled through in the first Ys game. As you can tell by the music being the exact same as what we had in Ys 1. I mean, it's obviously like a rearrangement of it, but still, this tower isn't the exact same of what we experienced in that game alone. So just knowing that, we're gonna be seeing some plenty different things in this area. Plenty different things. Obviously, you can tell the layout's slightly different already if you remember how it looked in Ys 1 to begin with at all. I'd like to say it's kind of just because you're interpreting how Adol wrote his books. So the tower may be different, but it is the same. I've been picking up things whenever I kill enemies. Like that red thing I just picked up just now, that increases my attack whenever I have one of those. So if I attack now, I do a little bit more. And there's a little gauge next to my health there on the bottom that actually shows how much longer that lasts. If I pick up more of them, it fills back up and it gets stronger. Which red will be for strength up, blue for defense up, and yellow for MP regeneration. There is a purple gauge, which is our XP, which is above our health. That goes up for every single hit we do, which can go up to a maximum of 1.99. Pretty much 2 times the experience possible. But, as you can tell, we just killed an enemy that was flashing red. Whenever you see one of those, it'll usually activate something if you kill them all. I did not mean to do that. Acquired Celcedon Panacea. Those are actually kind of useful because if we use them, it increases our maximum HP. This also depends on the difficulty level. It'll be more or less depending on which difficulty you choose. It's not the best of buffs, but any little small amount of HP is honestly, it's nice to have regardless. And going back to buffs, while the XP amount does have a cap, so do the strength, defense, and MP regenerations. They also cap out depending on how many you pick up over time. So let's just get rid of all these flashing red enemies over here. Like I mentioned earlier, they will open something in particular, like a door or a force field or something like that. In this case, we can see what it is right away up top right there. So let's just get rid of this last one here. I'm just gonna wait a moment. There we go, and bam. And it looks like this force field goes away, opening this little item on the thing over here. So let's pick it up, see what it is. Wrong button. This looks like one of the holy artifacts of Ys. But why would the demons have it? Acquired Cerulean Flabellum. Weird name for something. A surge of power bursts forth from the artifact. Yunica is granted use of the Whirlwind skill. Skills are our magic. When we press the right face button, we'll get different elements. In this case, with the Cerulean Flabellum, we actually get Whirlwind, which is wind. But we also can unlock fire as well as thunder elements. In this case, each one does something different, but enemies also have weaknesses depending on which one you're using as well. So if your attacks aren't doing that much damage, try some sort of skill and you might do a little bit more. If the Whirlwind doesn't cut it, maybe you need to do some sort of other magic that you might need to either find or get. But if you notice that, just swap around and you'll be able to do more things. In the case of Whirlwind, Yunica's Whirlwind turns her into a deadly gliding gale. Yes, if we press the A button, we'll spin our axe around and actually be able to glide using this. If we jump up in the air when we use it, we'll get a little bit more distance when we move. But later on, when we get an emerald, in this case, we'll be able to hold down the right face button and be able to charge up the ability. Whoa, I had no idea there was so much power in this thing. It's not really magic like the Sorcerer's Cast, but sure, close enough for me. I'll take whatever I can get. Yeah, pretty much we just hit the A button and we just do an attack. So if we jump up, we can just sit there and like get pretty good range by just attacking like that. But of course we have an MP gauge that fills up over time. It takes a little bit of a while to fill back up, but just knowing that, you could just use that and get some pretty decent distance. And we're gonna have to experience it plenty soon as well. So let me just get rid of this guy over here. Some enemies actually will get stunned depending on where you hit them. Usually it's a down thrust that stuns them more than half the time. So if you just do that, they'll get stunned. It depends on the enemy, of course. but oh, get rid of you. There we go, and I'm gonna head right up over here to hit this little switch. Yeah, it's the puzzles aren't like the hardest thing to figure out in the world, but again, like I said, this one is pretty linear compared to other games in the series, so it's not too hard to figure out. You probably don't even need a walkthrough. This is mostly just gonna be like a playthrough for me for the most part. I'll find things as I find them because honestly, it's pretty like not hard to figure out where to go in this one. But yeah, as you can tell, we got a long gap, so we just do this and we get a little bit further on. It's kind of like a nice little tutorial to figure things out. But yeah, if we want to do a little more damage, we could just spam that thing and just do a lot of damage. I'll be wanting to kill a lot of stuff because if you see an experience bar that's above your health there, that little purple one, if it's still going up kind of fast when you're killing stuff, you're going to need to maybe kill some more things in order to level up because you're probably either under leveled for the area or you're getting to a point where it's just right. If it's going up slowly, you're pretty much at that point where you're pretty much on par where the game expects you to be. But yeah, as you can tell, I kind of passed this up earlier. It's a locked door. I'm gonna need to find a key to get inside. So we're just gonna need to explore a little bit more. It's locked up tight. It won't open without a key, of course. So yep, let's just keep going. Again, just keep killing things. If your experience bar goes up pretty fast, just keep going at it until it kind of evens out and then just doesn't fill up as fast because level ups, any little minimal stat points you get, because 53 and 44 for Yunica, sounds like low numbers for an RPG, but 53 going to 54, that's kind of significant. It may be lower numbers, yes, but unlike RPGs where you get thousands of HP and attack and things like that, 1 is a lot. But before we continue on, as we can tell, we have some red enemies over there. Let's demonstrate Delilah Shell. Yunica spoke into Delilah Shell. Aeolia's voice echoed back in response. When East was attacked, several sacred relics were reportedly stolen by the demons. The object you found sounds like it fits the description of one such relic, known as the Cerulean Forbellum. It's a magic totem that houses the power of the wind. Should prove quite useful in there, I'd think. It's kind of nice that you actually kind of get a little bit more exposition if you use that, and again, hints if you need them. Yeah, what's happening? Where am I? It looks like a different room entirely. I guess that weird magic circle thing must have teleported me here. That's a pretty sophisticated trap for a bunch of demons. Yes, it is. So we should probably use our knowledge to get this purified statue back up and so we can actually like level ourselves up and stuff like that. So how about we do that? Let's do our divine blessing and maybe strengthen our current armor a little bit since we have enough SP to actually raise that up. We were at 44 defense before. Now with maxed armor, we have 45. Yeah, using the SP actually maxes out our armor or our accessory just by raising it up one time. It's not like a level thing. It does have levels. It's just weird that it goes from like level 1 to max on armors and things like that compared to your weapon, which actually does have levels. But yeah, let's get a status update since we just kind of fell into a trap. Yunica, is everything all right? Yunica told Aeolia that she'd been transported into another room. A teleport trap? From what you described, it sounds like the crux of the matter is the pulling force of that vortex in the center of the room. Give me some time to think about it, I'll see what I can come up with. In the meantime, you might as well keep on exploring. Yeah, that's pretty much your hint for that. Just keep exploring, you'll find the answer eventually. So, let's take a look up here. We got a little thing that we can put something in. There's a peculiarly shaped depression in the altar. So it looks like we need to find something to fit in that crest shape in the altar. But we'll do that next time Azure Plays more East Origin. See y'all then.